and welcome to the video, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Today I'm just going to be going over the Feral Druid builds, possible builds, that is, talents, and new abilities that we have now that our artifact weapons are gone here in the pre-patch for Battle for Azeroth. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Azerite traits. And I also want to show you guys the new cat animation that we have, the new cat model. So yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching, and let's get into it. Alright, so first, before I wanted to talk about the talents, I want to talk about some of the passives that we have. They haven't changed, I just want to go over them again, just to refresh everybody. Primal Fury: when you critically strike with an attack that generates a combo point, you gain an additional combo point. Damage over time cannot trigger this effect. Predatory Swiftness: your finishing moves have a 20% chance per combo point to make your next regrowth or entangling roots instant free and castable in all forms. And Omen of Clarity: your auto attacks have a chance to cause a clear casting state, making your next shred, thrash, or swipe cost no energy. Those are the only passives that I wanted to go over. Just remember those, because some of these talents will be, incorporating with those passives is very important to remember them. Predator. Okay, for level 15 tier, I went with Predator on this first build. I'm going to show you guys a couple builds, but obviously for level 15, the first build here is Predator. To me, this is the best one. These other two just do not appeal to me. They do not offer enough. So Predator, the cooldown on Tiger's Fury resets when a target dies with one of your bleed effects active, and Tiger's Fury lasts an additional 5 seconds. This is really good, especially whether you're in PvP or PvE. This is great. Your Tiger's Fury lasts an additional 5 seconds, and if the person dies or the NPC dies while they have a bleed on them, Tiger's Fury is instantly reset. And in some cases, you can just constantly for 10 seconds and instantly activates cat form. Now, Tiger Dash has a 45-second cooldown, activates cat form, increases movement speed by 200%, reducing gradually over 5 seconds. So if you feel like, hey, I need a lot of mobility, I just feel like I'm not that mobile, somehow you feel that way. I mean, Feral Druids are very mobile as it is. We move faster in Tiger form, obviously, and we're already fast, so to me, Tiger Dash just doesn't really appeal to me, personally. But if that's your playstyle, then, to each their own. That is a good talent, not saying it isn't. Renewal. So Renewal, this hasn't changed. If you feel like, oh, I need more survivability, I need more heals, then go ahead and choose that. That's a good one too. To me, Wild Charge is the best talent here. It grants multiple abilities in all of your shape-shifting forms, and even in your non-shape-shifting form. The one that appeals most to us as Feral Druids is the cat form ability. Leap behind an enemy, dazing them for 3 seconds. To me, this has helped me so much, especially in PvP and PvE, but mostly PvP. But in PvE, if I get knocked back, say, or something like that, I can instantly, leap. It's actually saved me a lot, especially in some boss fights. So yeah, I mean, a boss will knock me back, and I'm like, oh no, I might be falling off. I'll leap towards them, saved me, you know what I mean? PvP saved me a lot, mages like to blink away, warriors like to heroic leap. Well, we can leap right at them too, so I think if you're a Feral Druid, this isn't changed. This is entirely up to you on your playstyle, right? For me, I like Balance Affinity just because it increases the range of all my abilities by 3 yards, which is great. And also, you learn the Moonkin form and all the abilities that grants. To me, that's amazing. If an NPC is running away and my cat form abilities just can't reach, no problem. I can switch over to Moonkin, cast a couple, Moonkin spells at them, and hopefully finish them off, right? PvP, PvE, both apply. But I'm not saying these other ones don't have the same, viability. They do. Reduces all damage taken by 6%, and you get Frenzied Regeneration and Iron Fur. If you feel like you need to be more survival mode, then that's probably good for you. Or this another thing, if you want to learn more heals, for duels or more like arena or something like that, Restoration Affinity is pretty good because you'll have more heals. You don't have to be too reliant, I would say. Obviously, you need a healer in arena, but or if you're, if you're have a comp that has a healer. But if you're alone, or you like, I just want to be able to heal myself too, then Restoration Affinity is good. Level 60 tier, to me, this is a no-brainer for Feral Druids. We will choose Mighty Bash because we love the stuns. We need the stuns. The only other stun we have is Maim, and this one is actually pretty short cooldown, only 50 seconds. So I chose that. 75 tier. So here's where it gets really tricky. Now, this build that I have up for you guys here right now, this to me I found is really helpful, especially if you're struggling with energy regen and keeping Rip up on a target. So Soul of the Forest will grant 5 energy per combo point. I don't know what to do. You want to manage your combo points a little bit more. You don't want to keep track of a lot of things. You just want a simple rotation. Sabertooth is probably for you, because it'll just, here's how it works. Ferocious Bite deals 20% increased damage and always refreshes the duration of Rip. So you will only technically have to apply Rip once, and the rest of the time you'll just Ferocious Bite, and it'll just constantly refresh it. That way you can spend your combo points on other things, and Ferocious Bite and stuff like that. You won't really have to worry about Rip. That is the ability for you, if that sounds like something for your playstyle. The next one is Moment of Clarity. So we already have Omen of Clarity, but this causes it to trigger 50% more often and accumulate up to 2 charges and increase the damage of your next Shred, Thrash, or Swipe by 15%. Here's the important one. Your maximum energy is also increased by 30. So say you don't have the legendary ring that increases your energy regen by 5% and also increases your energy by 100 while in cat form, then that's probably the talent for you. Now keep in mind, legendaries will not mean anything past level 115 once we get there, but just for now, to maintain for now, if you're testing things out, this is the way you want to go. Alright, this is the first build. Now I'm going to show you guys another build that I like, and I think it also works. If you're not struggling with energy regen and you're just totally comfortable, this is something that you can use right here. Jagged Wounds. So combo points to refresh them. Now, you'll also have Brutal Slash. Brutal Slash is my favorite Feral ability. Let me just put that out there. I love Brutal Slash. I loved when they came out with it, and it gets me really excited. Alright, so Feral Druids don't have a lot of AoE. A lot of people are like, what? They don't have a lot of AoE? Look, we only have Thrash and Swipe. Alright, so Thrash is a bleed, but this replaces Swipe. Basically what this does is strikes all nearby enemies with a massive slash, inflicting 838 damage. Obviously this is going to be, more or less depending on your masteries and your stats, stuff like that. And it has 3 charges, awards 1 combo point. Now, that is amazing to me. And then you'll notice the next one I kept Moment of Clarity. Now remember the passives. When you critically strike with an attack that generates a combo point, Brutal Slash generates a combo point. You gain an additional combo point. So what does Brutal Slash do? It strikes all nearby enemies with a massive slash. So if you critical strike on all enemies near you, you will gain those additional combo points. Just remember that. That's very important to note. So this is a good build, and it's not too bad on your energy because you have Moment of Clarity. So let's go over the third build that I like. So we're going to keep these the same. We're going to keep these the same, but we're going to do something crazy. We're going to go to Feral Frenzy, the new level 100 talent here, or reworked, whatever Blizzard wants to call it, right? So a lot of people are like, what is this? Well, it's similar to what your artifact ability was, Ashamane's Frenzy. However, this is the more like smaller version. It only, claws your target 5 times versus Ashamane's Fury's 15 times. And it causes a bleed over 6 seconds. Also, very important to note, it awards 5 combo points. So, think about that. That could be very useful. This is another build that I think is really good. And then, so those are my 3 builds that I think are really, really fun to do. Another one that you could do is you could switch out Brutal Slash for Sabertooth if you just don't want to worry about your Rip. Like I said, remember that. And Soul of the Forest for energy regen. There you go. But for right now, this is my build. This is my build that I actually use. This is the one. So a lot of people are like, what's that on your right that says PvP talents? So let's talk about some PvP talents really quick. If you have War Mode enabled, everybody knows what War Mode is, you will have the ability to have your PvP talents ready and available to you. So these, everybody knows that you want to have a Gladiator's Medallion, right? To maybe release you from some crowd control abilities, say. Alright, so a couple of them that I like are Thorns. I've always chosen Thorns, even before this patch is great. So what is Thorns? Sprout Thorns for 12 seconds on a friendly target. When victim to melee attacks, Thorn deals up to 5% of the nature's attacker's total up to 5% of the attacker's total health and nature damage. Attackers also have their movement speed reduced by 50% for 4 seconds. To me, this is great. This keeps the pressure off of you for sure. That is if the enemy player notices. If they don't, well, they might just kill themselves, right? This is also another good one. King of the Jungle. For every enemy you have Rip active on, your damage and movement speed is increased by 3%. Stacks up to 3 times. So if you have full stacks, right, you'll have 9% movement speed on top of already your good movement speed being a Feral Druid. So you'll have that extra 9% movement speed, and you'll have... The only catch is Ferocious Wound cannot be active on multiple targets. It can only be active on one target at once, so just remember that. I like to switch these. I always keep Thorns, but I like to switch King of the Jungle and Ferocious Wound out a lot. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want Rip and Tear. Instantly applies Rake and Rip to the target. And the Rip is maximum, 5 combo point Rip, which is, cool. Then I can use my energy on other abilities, right? King of the Jungle, let's see, what Rake has a 60% increased critical strike chance if used on a target that doesn't already have Rake active. So think about that. If you Rake from stealth, you're already stunning them and doing a lot more damage, but this gives it like a 60% increase critical strike. Just it's just some some methods to think about there. Savage Momentum is also another one that I really like. Interrupting a spell with Skull Bash resets the cooldown of Tiger's Fury. Tiger's Fury is really good, and so this is another one of those. If you're in a PvP situation where you're like facing a spellcaster, this could be really good. Because here, let's take a look at what Tiger's Fury does for those of you that don't know. Instantly restores 50 energy and increases the damage to all of your attacks by 15% for their full duration, and it lasts 15 seconds. So theoretically, you want to keep this up as much as possible so you can be having that 15% increased damage on all your abilities for their full duration, such as your bleeds and stuff like that. Alright, so there are the builds that I think are pretty good, and I think those builds are the way to go. Alright, so let's go over some of these Azerite traits. As you can see here, I provided a picture for you guys that I researched some of this stuff off of the various websites, such as Wowhead, MMO Champion, stuff like that. Helps you out, just to let you know what's ahead. So as many of you know, we will not be getting any new artifact weapons. We will be getting a new artifact, but it'll be a medallion by the name of Heart of Azeroth. And as you level it up through Azerite, that it absorbs, so Azerite's kind of similar to Artifact Power. It's basically the same thing, it's just renamed Azerite. So your Heart of Azeroth, as you go around in the world, it'll absorb the Azerite around you. As it levels up, you'll be able to unlock traits in the Azerite gear that you obtain. Now you obtain gear, Azerite gear, through mythic raids, raids, mythic dungeons, stuff like that, just the normal PvE stuff. If some gear that you obtain, Azerite gear, you may feel like you want to reforge it, they're bringing the Azerite reforging option in, where you can change certain traits and stuff like that for a fee. So yeah, just remember that. Hopefully, I'm kind of excited for this system. I really hope that it helps all the classes, but mostly Feral, just because I'm a Feral Druid main. So thank you guys for watching. I think we're in a good spot here. Um, and I've been playing a little bit of beta, but unfortunately I was not able to really take any footage that I feel like was good. So you can bet when the game actually drops, I will be making more tutorials, more guides, stuff like that. So, and like I said before, I really want to show you guys the cat animation in this video, the new cat animation that they released with the pre-patch. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. I really hope that I helped you guys out in some way. As you can see, it's just more realistic. The back is definitely moving a little bit more. I feel like the head is bobbing a little bit more realistically, and the paws don't touch at the same time, which is just pretty real. Is definitely realistic. So overall, I think it looks great, and I'm glad that they're implementing small changes, but good ones.